everybody. Welcome to the Football 360 show, the fastest 48 minutes football talk on the planet. I am JP Rock. He is Matt Bierman. We are here today. Beautiful, beautiful day.
Perfect. Football weather.
This actually is football weather. Feels like it's about, 65, a little bit of a breeze. I know it's a little bit warmer than that. But our social medias is they were there if you're watching. JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scout You on the gram. Matt, where can people reach you?
Elite Football on X and Elite Football Academy on Instagram.
And of course, all things Football 360 Show at football360show.com. You can also catch us on Apple as well as Spotify. I know you were pimping that a little bit last week. Was it Apple or was Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify and Apple both, and it goes through some system that kicks it out to all those.
Yeah. You want a little bit more listeners on one.
Yeah, it's
Spotify.
I think Spotify.
Yeah,
Spotify. And I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got their own preferences, right? And
everybody does. So, are you a big listener to podcasts in the car? Or?
I am.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of stuff.
Depending
on the flavor of the day.
I'll tell you what, though, YouTube has got me so. YouTube and Rumble have me so conditioned, and we really pretty much live in a video world.
Yeah.
But of course, you can also catch us on 590 AM, I believe, still KLIS. The Lou Info station on Saturday mornings. Check that out. So big week kickoff of high school football last week, kickoff of college football, the Mizzou game. I'm assuming that you got a chance to check that out a little bit.
I did.
Not a big surprise there as far as
I thought they might win that one.
Yeah, just a little bit. They kind of put it on, and I know I was at the Kirkwood Fort Zumwalt West game, and the first thing Coach Macklin said to me afterwards was, "Do you know what the score was?"
I saw you had posted like during the game, Jacob Eberhard, big catch, and then I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great, and then it ended up not being a very high scoring game.
It was not a very high scoring game. Could chalk it up to, first game jitters and that. I have some video, talked to Coach Macklin afterwards, and, he was pretty much just saying some, you basically have a pretty new offensive line. A lot of guys were missing assignments. Brand new quarterback, transfer Cooper Owens.
Yeah, so you got a lot of moving parts.
But Jacob Eberhard, I mean, my goodness, just the man. And I spoke with him afterwards, and not only did he have that huge one-handed, just falling down, staying in the end zone touchdown catch, but he also had a really nice sack. They lined him up on the edge, and so I said to him afterwards, I'm like, that's kind of a family trait. Right? Could you get?
What do you think he's going to play in college? What are they telling him?
They're telling him safety.
That's what I think.
I think he's kind of an outside linebacker edge guy.
Well, he's going to keep. Yeah,
I mean,
he's going to grow himself down.
Honest truth, he could play wide receiver. He's that good, as you will know.
Yep.
But I've seen him play everything from cornerback and just dominate to light up on the outside and just rush the quarterback because he looks like he's shot out of a cannon coming off the edge.
Yeah, he's explosive, athletic. He's just got an edge to him.
Yep.
I think he's going to really do well wherever, with Illinois, but wherever they play him.
Oh, yeah. And so he's excited about that, excited about going to Illinois. And then the Mizzou game, I guess we can talk about that, start a little bit. As we had talked about, as I had said, Bo Pribula, my bad. He was the guy, and he was clearly the guy in preseason camp. And of course, he came out and looked an awful lot. And I had to double check that wasn't 12.
Yeah,
out there playing.
Real similar style.
Very similar style. So good on the Mizzou coaching staff. Clearly, they must have saw something like that.
Man, and then you just got to feel for Horn. I mean, my God, you get one play in, you take a shot, which they still really haven't fully released what that was. I mean, I guess we can guess. I think if it was surgery, we probably would have heard that, right? I think that's kind of the going standard. But what they say yesterday or the day before was it's ongoing, and he's they'll
kind of like his
us.
whole career. It's kind of been ongoing. He's had a little bit of injury issues. We never know when you're going to say. So if you're him and you have that baseball contract out there, do you even come back and risk playing football?
Probably not.
Yeah,
because he's had Tommy John from baseball.
Right.
But he also had, he had another injury at some point,
else,
right?
Yeah.
There was a lower leg, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there's something else. But to come in and be used on a running play and then to get hurt is like, oof,
But I will say that is really tough duty when you're in a game and the flow was going pretty good. And I was shocked that he was in there because he was supposed to get the second half. So, okay, fine. And I know they wanted to maybe throw a change up or something like that. But I mean, next thing you know,
Well, I think
there's no competition at all because he's hurt.
No, exactly, and quite frankly, from the first half, there was really no competition at all once you saw what was going on, and so I think that Drinkwitz was trying to live up to what he had told the media, you know, previously, the previous week. Both of them are going to play. I mean, he should have just said, "Yeah, we're gonna play both of them and see," instead of making like he's going to get the first, he's going to get the
Yeah.
second. But once Bo got out there, it was just like, and that's what he showed. That's what he's showing in preseason practice. And so everybody's going along saying, "Oh, it's gonna." Nah. We talked about it, right? And I talked about how fast he played, and it was just a difference.
Yeah,
when you saw
my
him in
only worry
practice.
for him is he's quick, he runs. It's a few shots he
Not
took
a big
against.
guy.
He took a few shots where, you think, okay, that's an SEC defender and not a team that just rose from FBS
Right.
or no FCS. I think
Right.
are they still FCS Central Arkansas? Yeah, I think
yeah,
they are.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were D2 a number of years ago. They
Right.
rose to FCS.
They're D1 now.
Similar path to Lindenwood.
Lindenwood. Yep.
That's
exactly what you got.
But yeah, I think hopefully they're going to protect him because now you have Zollers, who's a freshman as the backup, and who's good. But I'm sure with him, they probably don't want to completely burn his red shirt if they don't have to, right? Because you get some distance in your guys. Otherwise, you have guys leaving.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, and so that's going to be interesting to see how that all transpires. You really got to make sure that Bo is
got to protect him.
Got to protect him. Offensive line looked good for Mizzou. Defense is really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help them a lot. You can run the ball, you can play defense. You're gonna win. We talked about their schedule and anything else kind of jump out to you?
No, not a lot. I just it kind of like they looked real similar to what they've been.
Yeah.
I think looking into the future, their number one priority is to keep him safe. I mean, and we take for granted all the stuff that Brady Cook went through, right? Like he survived all of it and played the vast majority of those reps. You look at like the durability. That's the one question mark they're going to have with Pribula is, okay, is he going to be able to be the guy that goes and gets a shot and an X-ray across the street at the hospital and come back and play? Because that saved their season, right? And if Brady Cook doesn't do that, that's a tough ending to their season versus what they ended up getting was a really good run that came up a little short against South Carolina, and they had a shot. I mean, they had a shot for the playoffs last year, just came up a little short.
Yeah, it looks like it's the same thing. It's keep them healthy. Got to keep them healthy, and I mean, we'll see. It's a lot different, like you said, once you get to the SEC guys versus what you're doing now. And of course, that all the Penn State people are like, "Oh man, we should have." Well, it's game one. I don't know about you. I don't put a lot of stock in first games. I know a lot of people like preseason rankings, including on the high school level. It's becoming very trendy for guys, fanboys to make preseason high school rankings, which
gets some likes, right?
It gets some likes and follows, which I think is silly because you don't really know what you got, and especially when you got guys who are doing it who don't make it out of their county, right, to see the other teams, and so they really don't know. They're just going by what hearsay.
Yeah, and I think that's the tough part. Like even like I'm in a situation like you play your first week of high school football, right, at the freshman and JV level, you still don't know what you have because there's so much disparity in some of these opponents, right?
Yeah.
And then you watch film on your other opponents and people who they're playing, and it's I used to get caught watching a lot of film, and I'd get myself thinking like, oh, these guys are really good, right? And you're saying to yourself like, man, is that guy legit? Is he like, are they really that good? And then you get in the game and you realize like, oh wow, that was two not so great teams playing each other. And so one looked like they were like, I mean, JP, there was a few times last year I was watching film and I watched what appeared to be legitimate contests, right? And so you're thinking, man, these guys must have got a bunch of new kids. They look pretty good. They're solid and they're attacking people. And then you play them like 2 weeks later, and it's like the white flag's up 2 quarters in, and you say to yourself, well, what? And then you realize the team they were playing, it was just a parodied match, right? And that's what it was. That's what it became. And so I think that's why you got situations like a team like an East St. Louis that has to go travel to go see, some different competition, right? And I think you saw week one, CBC traveled up to Springfield. You see, which Sacred Heart Griffin.
Yeah, Eastside was in New Jersey.
Yeah. Did you see the end of that game?
I didn't get to see that. I know they lost.
So interesting. It was an interesting game.
Yeah. That's a heck of a travel, man.
They got a block punt, scooped and scored. That's how they ended up, and that's how they ended up losing. But I was a little surprised they did not pass the ball as much as I thought they would. They ran, but their passing game was a little more not as wide open as I thought it would be. And again, that's who they're playing. They're playing a darn good team.
Right. And you know what? Here's the thing. Just like with them, like you said, you thought they would have passed more. But personnel-wise, yeah. But again, you don't know what you got. It's the first game. You don't know what their game plan is going to be.
I do know they have a big running back.
They have a big running back. I think he's more of an athlete than a running back.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Lamarck Brown.
Yeah,
so he's exactly what he looks like.
Athlete. Yep.
He gets to the edge. He's big body. Lamarck might have been a little longer, but he was about the same size, 220-ish. Like just big, athletic.
I don't think he's going to be a running back in college, though.
No, because he got to the edge, and I was like watching him run. I'm like, ooh boy! But he actually caught a few balls out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But he's just athletic.
Yep.
Yeah. But to your point, I think you could see he's like an Eberhardt. You could play him all over the field, and he's only a junior, right?
Yeah, he's a 27 guy. And of course, like I said, they had to go to New Jersey. Of course, this weekend, the Eastside Classic has been canceled. Is it Gadsden, Florida, or is it Alabama?
I think it's Florida.
Is it Florida? Gadsden, Florida. Yeah, I think it is. They canceled, I do believe, and so that's all been moved. I think there's going to be like a girls game that's going to play still on the East Side, but Lift for Life is going to be playing at Cahokia now.
Oh, so they're not going to do any of the games at all.
I think they're just
because it's just probably a lot of work.
I think Cahokia was just like, no, we're just going to go to our stadium and play that out, which that's going to be a good game. Which Lift for Life, I mean, huge win. That's a program builder for them.
Oh yeah.
Beating MICDS.
And, that's a good quality win.
And Coach Woolfolk is, he's really, really developed that program, really brought in a lot of horses.
Oh, yeah. He's got some studs.
Some studs
a lot of seniors.
But again, these are guys that we talked about before. They all started at St. Mary's, right? Phoenix Isaiah, who else? Oh, Javion Scott.
Cam Hurst.
Cam Hurst, a bunch of those guys.
And then some Vianney guys.
Some Vianney guys, yeah, that's true. A little bit of everything has happened. And so, huge win for them. But again, we go back to the whole you don't know what you got. Like you said about Kirkwood and Fort Summer West, you expected more, right? But it's the first game. Everybody, a lot of moving parts. Everybody's trying to get their stuff together, their act together. Zimmer West is going to be nice. They've got some really nice players. Garrick Dixon was very impressive. And so was his little brother, Chase.
He's a big boy.
Man, I'm telling you what, he's 6'3", legit 300, maybe more. Athletic, plays nose guard and center. And, colleges will come for him because, athletically and football-wise, he's a junior. Yeah. He's just a junior, but he's a guy who hasn't really put himself out there as far as like going to combines, going to camps.
Yeah, he'll need to do some of that to start to kind of amp. He'll obviously have the film.
Very similar to his brother. Garrick never really was that guy. And, of course, he's committed to Kansas State. So that's going to be really good for him. And I spoke with Coach Macklin following the Kirkwood game. And I shot a little video of it. It's just a quick one just to kind of get his thoughts. Here's that's Alan Willems. Other one. So spoke to Coach Coach Macklin, Kirkwood. I combined Kirkwood and Macklin.
Whatever.
Right?
Yeah, that's whatever. That's a
Kirkland.
Good nickname.
Yeah, Kirkland sounds good. So here's Kirkwood head coach Jeremy Macklin following his 10-3 win it was over Fort Summer West. Here, Kirkwood head coach Jeremy Macklin. Coach, thoughts on your season opening win today?
Man, I got mixed thoughts. I got mixed feelings right now. Like I said, we take the win. Anytime you win, it's always a good thing. We are, we got a lot of stuff to clean up, especially offensively, man. Penalties, missed assignments, breakdown in protections. misreads, drop balls. It looked very much like a first game for us offensively. So we got to be better. We just got to be better.
Yeah. What were some of the things that you're, glad happened that you're impressed by?
You know what? I thought Ford had a really good game for us. I thought he stepped up in both ways. We asked him to do a lot of different things. We asked him to go both ways, and he stepped up to the plate. So I thought he had a really good game. And defensively, man, we were phenomenal. Those guys flew around. Those guys had stands. Those guys, made the most out of every situation they were put in. Hell, I even went for it on a fourth down there late in the game and didn't get it, and they stood tall to win the game. So I don't know what I was thinking, but
First game,
man, they played their butts off.
Yeah, new quarterback in Cooper Owens.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a good job, man. We'll be, like I said, we'll get in the film room. Like, everybody will be very critical of everything and try to find ways, man, for us to get better. Because right now, offensively, that was not a very good game. And then credit to Fort Zumwalt too. They played well. But the penalties, the drop balls, the missed assignments, right? The drops, like the missed protections, like that's more of an us thing.
Yeah, a little unusual given how talented your receivers are for the drops.
Yeah, one of our starting and star receivers went down early. We had another kid go down. Everybody's cramping. Nobody believes you when you tell them to start hydrating days before the game. You know what I mean? So we just got a lot to work on.
What about the offensive line? It looked like they needed a little bit of work.
Yeah, we'll get better. We'll get better.
Yeah, is there a lot of new guys?
Yeah, a lot of new faces, so we'll get better.
All right, appreciate it. You're always talking about the hydrating. Right?
JP,
I saw your face when you said that. Yeah.
You talk about it. And so the one thing people don't understand too, a lot of times, I watched cramp after cramp after cramp. You don't see it as much in college because they actually have people monitoring them and making sure. Some of the major D1 programs actually in the urinals, they have monitors, right? And it knows if the person is
really
depleted. Oh yeah. Like it's all in your urine. They know.
Oh, yeah.
So there's sensors when you're in there. And so it basically
gonna put that on a shirt.
It like scans and then they warns it, like, I don't know how they know it's you,
it's all in your urine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's more than just drinking water though. It's the electrolytes that are usually the biggest issue. So like trace minerals are really good to get into guys. Like there's supplements that you can take that all the trace minerals that are good for your body that you excrete. You sweat them out, you pee them out, all those things. But a lot of kids do not take that warning and they don't drink the water. They don't drink the electrolytes. And you and I both know it's too late once you're out on that field.
Yeah.
You can't, like, it's.
And I think a lot of these guys, if it's not super hot, which it wasn't, they think I'm good. It's not hot. I'm not going to cramp. Right. I drank a little water today.
Yeah. I drank a cup of water.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm good. It's not hot. So yeah, I think that shocks. It was shocking the players that they were cramping.
You know something too, JP? I think that, and this could be part of it, is some of these fields or a lot of these fields, like they don't allow Gatorade on the field.
Yeah.
And it's like some sort of like, well, it's going to hurt the turf warranty or whatever. I'm like, it's going to degrade the rubber in the turf. Well, it's rubber. Like, does the concrete degrade the rubber? Come on. Like who in the right mind? Like, and JP, I witnessed something the other day at a couple games. These new policies where they have people like you don't let anybody bring anything into the stadium, and it's a freshman JV game and it's 95 degrees, and there's older people coming, grandparents coming to watch their kids.
They're gonna make that concession money.
No concession open, and
no
you can't bring your own water in.
Wow.
No. And then one of the guys was like complaining, and the lady's like, "Well, it's a new world. It's like a new world. A cup of water or a bottle of water.
Yeah.
I understand rolling in a wagon with a covered bag. That's probably not a good idea. But like at the end of the day, like come on. But same kind of common sense like needs to prevail on the sideline. Like what is worse? A kid having a heat related event, because water is not always the solution. Truthfully, like if you look at the research, it's not just water.
No.
If you drink too much water, you strip yourself of the stuff that prevents you from cramping, right? It's just that's how it works. So, is it really worth the turf getting discolored? I mean, because there's proven science in Gatorade and Powerades and that and the liquid IVs. There's proven science in it. I'm not saying you should be drinking it all day long, but when you need a quick hit of sugar, which is good for you in competition, potassium, magnesium, all those things that you can get into your system pretty quickly. It's not going to stop you fully from cramping, but it can help it.
There's a lot of stuff that hits that turf. I'm surprised that they're weirded out by a little.
I'm pretty sure, JP, that they must be told by the manufacturer that'll void the warranty. You can't let it on there. It's like, okay,
yeah, that's really odd. So
really odd.
That was good. And then of course the next night I made a little trip out to Kansas City. Again, another just absolutely beautiful. I mean, we're really kind of spoiled because usually first games, it's about 100 degrees.
Oh yeah.
And you buckets of sweat, and it feels like it's mid-July, but really nice, just beautiful. Two really great teams, Liberty North and Blue Springs South. I was at Blue Springs South, and of course, in our wisdom, we had Blue Springs South head coach Alan Wilmus on. Last week we had Nixa head coach John Perry on, great guy. We had CBC head coach Scott Pingle, another great guy, on, and we had head coach Alan Wilmus on. And of course, we had those guys on because those are pretty much the front runners, in our opinion, in Class 6 as far as the guys who are going to be there. And man, it was a battle because Liberty North is no slouch. I mean, they have a lot of good guys, a lot of college prospects. Same thing with Blue Springs South, and it was just a great game. But from the start, you could see Blue Springs South is just on a different level this year.
From listening to him talk, I mean, he was certainly not bragging, but he was just listing kid after kid that's getting ready to go play college football after their senior year. And it just sounded like a confident group of seniors.
Oh, and he's got, a good group of seniors. He's got a good group of juniors too. And just on and on. They've got a 6'4", 220-pound freshman defensive end, tight end, who's named Cash Denny, that people are going to hear about here soon. Who surprise, I managed to corral him when I was there. Right?
Yeah,
it's like
come here.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, little boy, come here. As I'm looking up to him. Yeah. But it was a great game. They're loaded offensively, defensively. They really shut guys down. Just a total package as far as the run game. Big offensive line. And they were missing their starting right tackle, and it didn't really matter because they just plugged another huge kid in there, and they did what they wanted to do. Right?
They got good numbers out
as far as
kids.
170, I do believe Coach Wilmus said last 170 kids.
That's when if you're a public school and you get that many,
right?
I was part of a game where we played Seckman, same kind of scenario. I mean, they showed up. Their varsity had a ton of kids, and then their freshmen showed up, and I'm like, oh, that's the freshman in JV because it's a back-to-back game.
Yeah,
no, it was just their freshmen. It was like 50 plus, 55 plus kids, and then the JV rolls in 65, 70 deep.
And I'm telling you what,
that's great.
It's so interesting.
It's old school.
It's so interesting. We're going to get to your game in a minute, but it's so interesting because they didn't used to be like that.
No.
They were always kind of no disrespect, but they were just kind of always just also ran. You know, you pretty much.
Yes. Especially when they were in a newer school.
Right.
I don't think they had that momentum, and now they got it.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot about just everybody moving, right? I think that says about the migration
stuff
of people.
Left and right. Such a beautiful area. My God,
very hilly.
Very hill. Oh yeah. I mean, my only concern would be having teenage drivers. Is all those hilly? Like it's hilly.
Yeah, that's fun.
But it is pretty
when you're leaving a game.
Yeah.
Out there. And everybody, the teenage drivers.
I had one go whipping around my truck, and I'm like, oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking about some steep grades.
Yeah. Yeah. Very hilly. Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Coach Wilmus, I mean, they were just great. Darius Morgan, running back, the quarterback, Aiden Wilhelm.
Did he do it both in the air and on the ground? I would imagine he can run extremely well.
He can do it. Yeah, he can definitely do it all. And so I spoke with Coach Wilmus afterwards, and we're gonna find out what he had to say here in just a second. So, Joe, if you want to go ahead and hook us up here, Coach Alan Wilmus following their big win over Liberty North last Friday. Blue Spring South head coach Alan Wilmus, big win tonight over Liberty North. Good way to start the season.
Yeah, you know, our kids came out and played really well, especially in the first half. Made some mistakes, but just kept playing hard. And credit to Liberty North, they kept playing hard, so they kept climbing back in the game and making it tough for us. But just happy to get the win.
Were you a little surprised, or have you seen this out of your guys all summer?
You know, we've had a really good summer, you know, with our veterans, and we have a good amount of talent. You know, we expected to do well. But, you know, Liberty North's always been a great program that we haven't beaten for a long time. I don't even know when's last. So I knew we had to get over that mental hump. And, you know, it was going to take a great effort to do that, and we did.
Explosive offense. Who are some of the guys that stood out to you?
Oh, you know, obviously our quarterback, Aiden Wilhelm. Darius Morgan ran the ball like a man tonight. Gary Hill did everything, kind of like Debo Samuels that we say he is. White Denny made some great plays, great catches, you know. And Chance Taylor made some nice catches, too. And, you know, Gavin Nash, you know, he didn't get targeted as much tonight, but we know it's going to come back around to him. He's a great player, too. So, really, all of them contributed really well, and the O-line played well up front.
I know it's said a lot, but this really was a total team effort in the win.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, week one, guys are cramping, going down. You know, you try to keep that from happening, but it's something you can't control. And so the next guy's up, you know. And so we did a good job of that. Next man up, next man up. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it was a good win for us, and we get to go and enjoy it, but also get to work and fix those mistakes.
Your defense also stood up when it needed to. I know Liberty North came back, but they stopped them when they had to.
Yeah, they did. You know, they made some adjustments, you know, and they just kept playing hard. They kept playing hard, and the guys that had to come in, and we had some guys cramping on D, you know, they did a good job too. So super proud of the team effort, you know, but the good thing is there's a lot of room to get better too.
Right. So what's next for you guys?
Well, we have Park Hill South next week, so we're going to enjoy the win, you know, tonight and tomorrow. I'm going to get back to work this weekend and on Monday.
Doesn't get easier.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Appreciate it, Coach. So, yeah, huge win for them. And again, the cramping. Now, that's both sides of the state, right? So,
oh, yeah. I watched it all weekend. I'm like, golly, guys. But, yeah, I think some of it's the adrenaline and guys are, you know, hyped up. But, like, a lot of it is, yeah, I will say conditioning is probably not as big of a deal for high school. I mean, if there's a trend, I would say that there's less conditioning that used to take place. It's very obvious.
Oh, without
I think you're squeezed on time. You know, it's one of those things that's, you know, it's a necessary deal, and that's kind of like, oh, we're gonna do it in a practice pace. But when you got a big program like you got to run these guys. But like at some point, because the body, but like I'm talking like when I'm saying running, you got to work like maximal sprints. We're not doing the old, you know, jogging a mile type of crap. I mean, that stuff doesn't work, but like working on a couple times a week, highly explosive movements for, you know, short bursts. And
isn't it crazy how conditioning has changed from the just like running the mile, doing some suicides, running the hill a little bit.
Gassers. Yeah. I mean, you got guys like timed gassers like in college, and guys couldn't do it. And
right.
Everybody's screaming at them, you know, like
there's such a better way to be more efficient with it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of research to tell you how to do it and what works, you know, long term in a season. Mm-hmm. You know, because after this week, everybody's beat up, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, the number of kids that, you know, nice and beat up and tired. You know, that's where all the recovery techniques come in, the cold plunges.
I'm beat up and tired already.
I know. Right. We got a long way to go, JP.
Got a long way to go. But no, I mean, Coach Wilman's just a great guy. You know, was happy to see me. Big fan of the show. You know, said he really enjoyed coming on. I heard that from Coach Perry as well.
Hey, all three guys won. I don't know. Like, right? Like, if you want to get a win, maybe come on the show.
Absolutely. But no, just great. They're going to go far. But you know, out there, you know, playing Liberty North, playing Parkway South, that's a really tough conference out there. It's the big boys.
That's what he was talking about last week. Is just the sheer volume of just good teams, right?
Right.
And it is. They have a lot of bigger schools in their conference. Like whereas here, you got that. You're on the cusp. Like I think didn't Kirkwood just bump down to 5?
Kirkwood's down to 5. We're gonna talk about that, and I should have talked to Coach Macklin about that, but as you can see, he was kind of itching to get out of there.
He had some things to get back to the drawing board.
Oh, absolutely. And the funniest part was him talking about going for it on 4th down, which I was really shocked in his own territory. I'm like, I'm like, well, that's gonna be.
I had one of those this week. I didn't do it. I ended up punting.
Thought about it.
Yeah,
you're like, man, I really want to go for it.
Yeah.
But no, just great. And of course, we covered the entire state. We don't just stick in one particular conference. One county. So we're all over the state, and that's just going to be a theme for again this year. But big thanks to Blue Springs South and Coach Wilmes and everybody over there. Could not be nicer and more receptive of me and what we do here with the show and everything like that.
Awesome.
So that was great. And so then, of course, on Saturday, here we go. So Thursday game, Friday game, Saturday game. That is how you do it.
That's how you do it.
I know it's real easy to sit behind your computer screen or just go out every once in a while or whatever, but that's how you got to do it. But got a chance to see Coach Curtis's
his new D line,
New D line. Hey,
they look good.
Look good. They looked really good. Interesting game between them and McClure North, and of course McClure North. A lot of those guys, Malik Carroll.
I like Malik Carroll.
I like Malik Carroll. If Malik was a little bit bigger, he's still going to play college football because he's just that talented a kid. But did a report on him, and
he's tough.
He's a tough kid. He runs hard. He's quick. He's fast. He's elusive. But they gave Chaminade a game, but Chaminade came out and did well. Winweiler had a nice game. These some other guys Isaac Hudson had his first touchdown as a Red Devil, and then just a bunch of guys.
They still have the big crown on the field. Is it
we don't want to talk.
That field is really interesting. I mean, it's probably the same as when I played on it in high school.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. In fact, BJ Wilson was there.
Oh yeah,
and he was just asking me. He's like, "So is this field always?" I'm like, "This is the
original." They still have that little concession stand on the far end. It's just like a little hut.
I don't think so. I think they
upgraded.
I don't know if it's an upgrade, but it's
the bigger hut.
Maybe it's a little modest. I didn't make it up to that area.
Yeah.
I go straight down into the field, so I didn't see it. But it's still you know how it has the old school like the press box
across the other far.
That's all over there and stuff, and so
somewhat nostalgic.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. It's a very nostalgic stadium.
There's been some good football played there.
There really has, and it's funny because I was thinking about that, and I don't know how far back you remember it back, but do you remember like Bobby Christian?
Oh yeah,
or John Vaughn?
Yeah,
it was, and I mean there were some great teams under Schottenmuller.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's Coach Shannon's trying to get it back, but it can be difficult because I'm telling you what, most of the kids that live in North County,
they're getting plucked.
They don't play in North County. Yeah. So you got McClure and McClure North. Hazelwood East is doing really well. In fact, they're playing tonight against Parkway Central, which should be a pretty good game.
That's tonight, huh?
Yeah. And then
they got Central pretty good last year. So
yeah. So that's going to be it. So give me your thoughts on that, because Parkway Central used to be. Or can you speak about that?
Yeah, I mean that's just I think it's an enrollment change. I think it's just they have not had a junior football program since COVID.
Yeah.
Like maybe the year after COVID. So you think about that's a tough way to get your junior group involved, right? If they're not, because some of those guys have been playing at Parkway West, some have played at Parkway North. But yeah, I just think, it's the same old thing though. It's peaks and valleys, right? So like they had a really good run with a bunch of good teams, and I think you lose some momentum, and Coach Goldenberg was there for so many years. Coach Kirby and Coach Goldenberg were there for so many years, and then they changed the guard, and I think Coach King got a bad end of the deal as far as like. You don't have a junior program. You got COVID. You get all these things, and it's just rebuilding. So it'll just take time.
So you see it coming back, because I mean,
it'll come back. It's like anything else. I would think like whereas Parkway West, which I have some good knowledge of, they're definitely on an upswing, which they had some down years. But yeah, the public schools are tough. Like when you talked about it earlier,
So
it's
tough.
If you have a really good senior and then a supporting junior class, I mean that's a lot. I mean that's really good, right? And then the key is trying to get 2 to 3 of those classes back to back to back, and then you get some momentum, right? And I think if you don't have the volume of kids, it's hard. It's hard to do consistently. Right. Like you need the volume of people.
I agree, and so that's going to be at Hazelwood East tonight, Parkway Central Hazelwood East, and Coach Cole's really got it going out there at Hazelwood East. He's hanging in there, and I know they're doing the same with Hazelwood Central, and they're trying to keep it. At some point, it really makes you wonder if some of those schools need to like combine.
Oh yeah,
I think that's part of the problem with the Parkway schools. Is
I would agree.
Is you've got a lot of talent, but you just got
it's real spread out.
Yeah, parceled out.
Oh, you imagine a Rockwood or a Parkway or even a Wentzville like super team like that's like with those kids in that district all on one team.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah,
there would be some really formidable teams. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things that a lot of them have district where kids can go to different schools, but that's just logistically doesn't work for people. Logistically or just maybe friend base doesn't work, things like that. But I think, as you see landlocked schools shrink in population, they're going to fight to keep as many schools open as they can. But truthfully, at some point, you gotta adjust, right? And I think some of those adjustments may end up being really good for the program.
Yeah.
So
one can hope. And so Parkway West, big opening win.
Yeah, really big win.
Brett Ottensmeyer, great game.
Yeah, I forgot what the stat line was, but 300 plus yards. Yep. Had an uncharacteristic, really unforced error on the beginning of the game, and
I saw a couple guys do that.
But guess what? Yeah. He walked off the field. I said something to him. I said, "Get out of the way," and then he was lights out the rest of the game, like lights out. Division I quarterback took over the game. Leighton Usry, another guy, a guy that picked up where he left off. Caught 81 or 82 balls last year. Caught, I think, 8 this week. Max Hurley, another guy, caught 7. Max Jones had some big plays. Grayson Smith, another guy. They have 2 6'6" sophomores that are pretty damn impressive. Types, impressive. And then they got a whole crew of guys that move around pretty well, and 33 seniors, I think. So that bodes well for their program when you got that many experienced guys out there competing. And Seckman is a what a tough draw out of the game. I think that was their 29th. They'd won 29 games in a row, so they were going for 30 a regular season, and West got them. So it was a really good game. They competed. Both teams competed at the very end.
Yeah, it's a heck of a start because Seckman has really kind of become a machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where you just plug the next guys up,
and they do. You could tell like watching their varsity and then watching their JV, and I got to coach against their freshmen, and it's just you can see all the pieces of what they're going to put together for next year already down below, right? And so they have a good system, and it's kind of like, hey, stop us if you can.
It's almost like that old Jeff City system where like from grade school on, you knew what your role was and you were going to do.
And I think that's the beauty of, that's how he's turned that Coach Bear has turned that program around because, they haven't always been that way. Right. And I think, if you look at how well they traveled their fans, I mean, just impressive, like for their JV and freshman games, like the numbers of kids playing and the people buying into the program speaks volumes about what they're doing. But it goes to show you when you got a winner, people want to be around it. People want to be a part of it. And so they're doing that. And they got, and I think they have their big game. So them and Fox, I mean, that's like, a border war, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty big week for them and Fox. So that should be a fun one to watch. A rebound game for them. And then Fox, I'm sure, wants to get one on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They hadn't gotten them in a while.
No, I don't think it's going to be this year either, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So, we talked about some changes in the class. I hate that the classifications come out the day of this season. Start of the season.
I don't get it.
I mean, how do you feel about it? Class 6, a couple of guys dropped down.
But the numbers, it's such a strange.
I don't get it.
Know this too, JP, and someone else could probably chime in and let us know. So when you go on the enrollment data and it says the school has 1,200 kids, that is not actually their real enrollment. I think it's like they don't count. Like there's like, it's a weird way how they do it. So why wouldn't you just do the total enrollment of the school that the state pays them for, and then that's what your enrollment is?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe that is the case. I could be wrong, but someone mentioned that it's like, it's just not the graduating seniors. Like it's like they have some calculation.
And that's the problem. There's some kind of calculation that we don't understand.
Anytime there's a calculation,
it's left open
there's
human.
things. Yeah. Right. So why wouldn't it just? And maybe it is. I could be wrong. I let's put it this way. I always assumed that it was your total enrollment of your school. So say you have 2,000 kids, and the threshold for 6A is 1,550. Well, you're 6A. If you have 1,499, you're a 5A. You're the biggest 5A, right? But there are some schools in 5A that have 800 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, 700 kids, 770 or whatever.
I don't know the exact number for St. Pius X, that St. Pius X in Kansas City, but that's a small school if you've ever been there. I can't imagine that they, are that huge. And of course, what I found interesting was two schools that are now in Class 5, and that's Kirkwood and Rockhurst. And that's really gonna change the dynamic. And in fact, as soon as the Kirkwood game finished, Rocco Marriott just DMing me. He's like, "Hey, how's Kirkwood looking? Because they're in 5A now." And so, of course, he's thinking a little bit ahead, maybe possibly down the road, because they've got a pretty good reputation of being a perennial good team. But I think Rockhurst is really going to be tough. And not only is Rockhurst in Class 5 now, but they're also in Platte County's district. And they opened up against St. Pius X.
Yeah.
And just mauled them.
Really?
And I mean, it's Rockhurst, and certain things don't change. They have the numbers and they have the talent.
Right.
And so they're going to be a problem for everybody. Although Platte County, I mean, you want to talk about returning.
Are they going to play a full game?
I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, there's some, I'm looking at the schedule, Rocco might only play like a quarter in some of these games here.
So JP, real quick. So 1,250 plus, you're in 6A for 11 million football. 859 to 1249, you're in 5A. 503 to 858, you're in 4A, and then 315 to 502, you're in 3A. So, but you look at like the high end, so 1250 plus, but 859 versus 1249, pretty wide gap,
number, yeah.
Right? Whereas, what that's 350 the people separate the class top to bottom in 4A. I don't know what it would be on the high end on 6A, but that's, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I know they got to break it out, but it is.
My biggest beef is, hey, let's do it before the opening game. I think it's down like a couple hours before the opening game, and everybody's wondering. But as Coach Brinkley at Luther North told me, I only got to win the last 3. I don't really care. I know. I only got to win the last 3. So
I know.
Semi interesting thing, and then we'll talk about what's coming up for this week. But Lee Summit North head coach Jason Rogers, I'm sure you saw it, stepped down, and things happen. There was some off the field stuff, some practice, some training, some practices. I don't know. But what I found interesting about it is it seems to have been done by a parent who wanted to turn them in. And I don't know how much you know about this story, but apparently, so allegedly what happened was there were some off-season training sessions. a new offensive line coach came out. I think it's Donald Stevenson, who I think he played at Oklahoma, played at Blue Springs, maybe. And anyway, he started charging kids to train after the parents were told he was a coach at the school. And I guess that rubbed some people the wrong way. Anyway, we had talked about this previously before.
There's a lot of that going
about
on.
how certain things happen, coaches getting turned in for violations and stuff. And as you mentioned, it's usually a disgruntled parent because their kid's not playing or this or that. So I just, Deron Washington, Derek Washington's little brother is going to take over and be the interim head coach for the remainder of the year.
So the tough thing is that you can't charge kids that that you're directly, like, say it's your position coach, right? Yeah. Like if you're, that gets a little hairy. Like when I had my middle school team, like my policy was, you're on my team. If you're going to come in and train, come train.
Right.
Like I don't want to be involved in any well, that kid's paying to go train, and that's not it. That's not how it works. So I've my little guys I've had since they've been in 5th grade. Obviously, it's more of a family environment. I have the ability to do it, but yeah, if someone is charging people and you're and you're part of it, I can see where there's a rub. But
I get it.
But why not communicate? And there's probably, what happened was, I'm sure they were filming them and this and that and building the case so they could turn them in.
Well,
right?
Building a case and then wanting to, go to the media. And of course, they're more than happy to oblige and then do like FOIA requests and try to get emails and, because every little 2-bit sports reporter wants to be, who are the Watergate reporters?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're all
investigative journalists.
Yeah.
So I did not know that whole story, but
they want to bust that big high school coach had a practice he wasn't supposed to.
Well, and therein lies the issue, we saw last year there was coaches got in trouble for practicing during the dead week and stuff like that. Or playing ineligible players. We've seen that. We've seen a little bit of everything. But again, it's not the easiest. I will tell you, you don't want to get into high school coaching, and I have seen it where guys are getting in to create their own business.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That is a bad, I'll tell you.
I think this was just an unfortunate thing. It should have been squashed.
The timing was probably just bad, right?
It was, I don't think it probably needed to get to this point, but
it did.
People.
JP, I told you that the number one person that turns in kids on quarters, schools, I think monitor that pretty well. Again, from my experience, they have, but it's other kids on the team's parents who turn them in.
And that's why I'm bringing it up.
It happened.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
I know high school coaches will tell you there's the vindictiveness, and people's perspectives on things so often, especially when it comes to sports, not just football. There's so much skewed.
It's a tough reality, as you well know.
Yeah.
From the inside.
JP, the number of calls I get, I know you get too, and it's talking about recruiting and talking about the different aspects of the game, and listen, I cannot tell you the number of times I've given people pieces of advice. I've been doing this for a long time. There's not much that you or I are going to see when it comes to, hey. I'm not a medical doctor, but I promise you what your child is going through and what happened to him in practice, I've seen it a lot, right? And I'm telling you, there's certain strategies that you want to take. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. I will say, I'll give you my advice. And typically, if you think it's orthopedic, you don't go to a non-orthopedic to get viewed. And that's typically people going to urgent cares. The number of times I've had kids have broken bones and told they can't play, only to be discovered that was just a CYA scenario where they did not want to, say that it was. They said it was broken, but it's not broken. When the radiologist really looks at it, the orthopod looks at it, it's there's no break here. Stuff like that. Well, but same thing with recruiting. You and I give advice to people constantly, only to have them turn around and go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Can lead a horse to water.
I don't get it. It's unreal.
Absolutely. So there's our social media, KU, Mizzou. Interesting. We ran out of time. We didn't get a chance to talk about that because it is the fastest 48 minutes of football talk. There's our social media where you can reach us. JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scout You on Instagram. Matt, where can people reach you?
Elite Football on X and Elite Football Academy on Instagram.
And of course, all things Football 360 Show, football360show.com. Anything else real quick as the music hits you want to talk about?
That's it.
Everybody stay healthy, stay safe, enjoy this weather, and we will talk to you next week. See ya.